This is Bodega Bay, California, a favorite spot, very historic, and it is a fishing village, a place where early in the morning wonderful fishing vessels disappear into the fog, and you can hear the foghorns in the distance. There are many seals that come up on the shore, and we're moving along here to the right-hand side where this pier has been for a very long time. This is one of dozens of pictures that have been done on this location over the years. Nevada Arts Center began in 1968, and from that point until this point, 2019, I've come out here many times early in the morning, usually when it gets to be high noon. The sun begins to come overhead and the cast shadows make the picture altogether different. This one was done just a year or two ago, and it shows you the beautiful colors. It was a bright and lovely day, pretty much like what we're going to show you today. In preparation for a plein air painting, which is out of doors work, the artist will decide whether or not the best view would be vertical or horizontal. Now, if it's a vertical view, it would be with a horizon placed relatively low. If it's a horizontal view, the horizontal line or the horizon could be up here as a high view. It could be down low as a low view, or it could be somewhere in the middle in this view. Now, the artist is going to decide very quickly. Bodega Bay, of course, is a beautiful vista of water and dock, and everything seems very horizontal. And so this is pretty much the decision that is made today. Now, the artist will also do what is called a thumbnail sketch, and they will come into the scene and very quickly decide that there would be perhaps the distant mountains behind here, which would emphasize the horizontal. It's a cloudless sky, so probably clouds would be placed because it would make the eye move very nicely to what is going to be a vanishing point or a point of departure for the eye to move towards. There's many vertical lines in this because there's many little piers, and I'm going to make the separation here, and they increase the understanding of the grid. The grid is established with verticals and horizontals. The verticals and the horizontals create what is called a grid. And so the reflections down here into the water are exactly opposite, perpendicular, of course, to the posts of the little pier, which extend over here. The grid, made up of horizontal and vertical lines, will be enhanced with the curvilinear lines. So now we have this little vessel that is still here in this water, and this again is a thumbnail, a small suggestion of what the other picture is going to look like. There's another curvilinear line over here in another small vessel on this side. Now, the clouds themselves will form a curvilinear, which will repeat this kind of shape. Now, the lighting is going to draw the eye to the vanishing point, and the eye will move towards that with this in mind. Vanishing point, the movement of the water, more verticals with the mass, and we have a plan. Again, it's called a thumbnail. Moving to the larger paper, we have the sketch, the curvilinear line, the curvilinear line, the verticals, the horizontals. The first wash is done by wetting the paper completely. And usually we use just a broad brush, and we start because water seeks its own level. And we're going to begin with the atmosphere, the warmth of the day. We're actually a little too close to high noon, which is not the best time to start. The best time for an artist is in the morning. but I'm going to trust that it will stay wet in the duration of this time frame of the first wash. Now I'm going to wet the entire paper because I will do the sky and the bay beneath the pier at the same time. There's wonderful, wonderful reflections that are beginning to appear under the dock, under the pier, under the boat. So I'm going to start. There isn't a lot of yellow, but I'm going to start by making it a warm sky, and I will use a cadmium red, and I see that everywhere in the water, kind of as a glow underneath. So I'm going to start with that at the horizon, and again I'm going to use strokes that are kind of curvilinear to give movement. I'm choosing a warm red for this purpose. There are several reds, one being alizarin crimson, the other being cadmium red, and all the cadmiums. This is a broad brush that I've used for the bringing down of the water, the first washes, but I'm going to switch to a little narrower flat brush. This is an aquarelle brush, and I'm going to begin the water as it moves this way, not hesitating to drop in this warm red all the way through. Remembering that the ripples get larger as they come towards the bottom. Now this paper is drying really fast. There will also be a little bit of yellow ochre at the horizon, and this is still the warm underpainting. The warmth, of course, is going to be repeated on the far shoreline. And I'm just going to be strongly applying that color right in here. All right. Now, the warmth is going to be picked up across the bay. And it will be on the other side of each of these little boats, this side being dropped into shadow. Now I'm not afraid of going right over the pier because it will be a little darker. Now here are the worms coming right down into the foreground. Just picking up the highlights of the reflections. There's a warm side and a cool side in nature. And so this is a plein air painting, on location painting. And I'm just about ready to add a little bit more over here on this side of the distant hill. Again, it's yellow ochre and cadmium red medium. Okay, the sky is laid in with French ultramarine blue, and I have come quickly down, and as only nature could do for you, the clouds have changed, and there's a horizontal cloud that is made up of French ultramarine and cadmium red medium, and it's a soft, wonderful cloud bank that just appeared out of nowhere right over the mountain that is going to be placed in here. Still on first wash, I'm still on the underpainting, and now it's all changed, and of course the boat has left, but I can remember it because I have a really good sketch of it, and I've done it before. So now I'm going to put in the cool underpainting, and the cool underpainting is done with pretty much the same colors that are up in the atmosphere, and they are reflected down into the foreground. I am, however, going to change to a cerulean blue and a cobalt blue, and that will be the colors I use for the distant water that is just below the shoreline. Now there are some boats out here And there's many little docked boats in the harbor on the other side of Bodega. I can see them from here, and I'm going to enhance them just as though I had a telescope. I will lift them up. So I'm going to start with using a bit of viridian and a bit of cerulean. These are beautiful, lovely colors that are turquoise. And I'm going to bring them down from this area right down to the foreground. And I'm going to do that kind of in one swell swoop. Actually, seeing that French ultramarine should be the initial start. Working down towards the foreground with the cerulean, the viridian, it brings life to this picture. I'm remembering right underneath the little bow, using the aquarelle brush, the edge of the brush, and the flat of the brush. Now I have to remember that the waves are further apart as they get closer to the bottom. These colors are vibrant and they dance across the surface. But the very first ones are done horizontally and they lay in the pattern for what's going to happen. And again, the turquoise is created with viridian and cerulean. And very beautiful colors. Plenty of water is applied. This is still the first wash. This is the cool underpainting that follows the warm underpainting that lays the foundation for the picture. We already said that the boat has gone away. And that being said, hopefully we'll be able to remember exactly the pattern that the boat had made, and the reflections will be right underneath, of course. So I'm going to try to recall that. Shape of the boat reflects into the water. This way and that. I love the sound of the Bodega seals. They are wonderful. And there they are. They're poking their head. There's a couple of them, and they make the wake in the water. Very, very adorable. So here we are for reflection this way, and enhancing the color of the water. Still with the chisel edge aquarelle brush. I'm using cobalt blue now to bring the water up a little bit in value, even before I start the top coats. Using a broader brush helps to keep it fluid, and I'm going to switch to around and begin the little ripples on the waves, on the water, and so that they will blend in with the other colors and create movement and interest. Still underpainting and still the cool colors. But I'm staying with the round brush and the ripples with the cobalt blue. I'm going to remember that the posts are right here, and the ripples should go directly under the posts. and they will bleed into the wet underpainting. The artist is able to compress the picture and just pick and choose the things that are going to be of interest. And remembering the boats that have slipped away, but that were here. The entire dock goes into another deeper value, and I'll be ready to do the first value of the subject matter in just a few minutes. The artist uses large brushes to begin with and gradually can move down to the smaller sizes. This is a chisel aquarelle, this is a 1/2 inch chisel aquarelle, and this is an 1/8 image. So all three are very valuable in the smaller areas. I'm going to switch at this point to the 1/2 inch aquarelle, and we'll be doing the distant shoreline right over here, already alluded to with the trees. And I'm going to use yellow ochre, and I'm going to use Prussian blue, which makes a very beautiful, beautiful green. And I'm going to start this right up in this area here, and it's already got some suggestion of trees at this point. And I'm going to just come right in here behind this building, and it's what we call the negative space, the lost and found edge. And I'm going to add a touch of the yellow, vibrant yellow, and alizarin into this area. This is on the distant hillside, and it will bring up colors of the hill right in this area, and it will also define the edge of the building. I'm moving right along. The trees cascade down. There are erosion lines down the mountain, and that's the area where this yellow can be placed to give that suggestion of movement right down this direction. Alright, and moving over to this side, the hills continue with less trees. Leave some of the underpainting, giving a variation. I'm using the side of the brush, just a light touch, and moving the brush this way. On the distant shore, there are many little boats, and I'm just using a small brush, and the side of the brush will actually create an entire boat or an entire house, just the subtlety of the distance. Then I take a small card with a stiff edge, and I go this way with a little bit of pigment, and I can create a vertical, suggesting distant mass on little boats. Now I'm going to proceed across the painting from left to right, and I'm going to do it here. I'm creating a gray tone with French ultramarine, a little bit of cadmium red, French ultramarine, make a nice gray, and whatever's left on the palette. We affectionately call that palette gray. So, here we go. Just looking out at the pier. Again, it is light value, and I'm not going to try to get dark until the next run through. There's about 3 washes. Light wash is actually finished. Now I'm going into middle value and then finally dark value to pick up the accents. The final wash goes into third value. Here we take the pier and we accentuate the depth and the strength of the pier that is much darker. I use Payne's Gray and Burnt Sienna. I've actually contrived a little boat that left several hours ago, but the details are done with a smaller brush, are done again with the darker colors, and I'm moving along the same way that I started, building the darks in third value, same colors, but with less water. And it brings a lot of strength to the finished product.